Here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
Hello, Excelsior, my Merry Marvellites. I hope you are well this post-Thanksgiving week with tons and tons and tons of content out in the world. There's so much to watch between Punisher and Runaways and trailers and life. Anyway, we are the Marvel Movie News, and this is episode 158, and we're going to be coming to you live from, let's just come from space, because the Infinity War, we don't know what it takes from just space.
Hey, there's
just
a lot of
space,
space out there, like with Contact.
Yeah,
if there isn't life out there, that's a lot of ways to space.
We need it out there, and I could use some with this post-holiday season. Space! We are here to tell you why you should be excited about all the news from all the studios as we are. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. You can find us at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. You can find us through Popcorn Talk's website, popcorntalk.com. Follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN or at the Popcorn Talk. Find us on Facebook, which we are using more at facebook.com/Marvel News Show. Follow us, like us, and if you tweet a link to this show while we're going live, asking people to join us live, Aunt Manthony in the booth will retweet you.
How about them Runaways? I've actually seen 3 episodes.
Yeah!
My goodness, I gotta say, I'm really liking Nico's character because she has like so many different fronts that they're gonna tackle it from.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see where it's going.
Dude, we got. I'm just gonna say, we got Anthony.
Yeah, we got him on board.
We've got a convert, I hear.
Yeah, just by watching this show, right?
Of course, yeah.
You're welcome, Marvel. We did this for you. We got you a new zealot. So this week it is going to be myself, as always, at COYJANDREAU, and joined by the ever lovely back from vacation, Markeia McCarty.
Yes, that's me. MARKEIAMCCARTY.
How was the holiday?
It was fantastic. It was a really nice recharge.
Yeah.
Got to be with family and friends, and I needed a rest after I got back. So I was by myself for the entire weekend.
Oh, this is the dream.
I'm not leaving my room. I missed my PS4, so I played that a bunch.
Holidays. And tweeting live from the Charjammer is the ever lovely Colt Bedeau, and our associate producer Ollie Dreamboat is not with us here today. He had a bunch of stuff to do down in Long Beach, so he is with us in spirit, as is the astral plane Matt Key. Now this week, I want, in welcoming Markeia back from missing last weekend, to start with, of course, the Black Panther. Tell us about this poster.
Of course. So those of you that don't know, go ahead and check online. There was the international poster Black Panther that was dropped. And it was it's actually extremely similar to, I call it, These Hands. And that's when T'Challa is just staring at his claws, his Black Panther claws. And he's like, what can these hands wrought? I need to be a king for my people. There's all this inner dialogue going on. But in this particular, the international poster, he's not looking at these hands. He's got these hands up, and then he's staring, dead eye into the camera, like into your soul. But not only that, his entire face is covered. And it even seems like it has this purplish tint to it, like the actual color of it. And I have not seen this mask that they have before. It's not familiar to me. It's kind of like it reminds me of Pacific Rim for some reason, or something.
It's got like a World War II
something like, it's like
like the snout.
And it kind of makes me think of like Batman, how he has all of the different suits. Like maybe this is going through gas Black Panther.
Yeah, and the purple
something.
hue, I think he might have more of an Iron Man like inner AI than we might have anticipated, because the lighting could be from inside the mask.
Well, I'm very much expecting for there to be different Black Panther suits that we'll run into, kind of like that whole, I keep on using the illusion of Batman, but like the Bat Cave, we'll have the Black Panther cave, or palace, whatever.
Well, we saw in the trailer there was at least 2, and we've seen at least 2 so far in chronology.
So if there's 2, there's got to be like 20.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's not. For those that don't know, he is not the original Black Panther, even the second Black Panther. There is a long line of Black Panthers that he actually comes from, because the Black Panther god Bast has been around for a while.
Yeah, and it's a hereditary role. I love part of the story is that not only is it hereditary as with monarchies, but it also has to be earned. Yes. I like that it's not just like, here you go, because that's how you get Joffreys. Like, I like that it's like a thing that's like, you have to respect it, you have to earn it, and you have to be a leader for your people, and there's also a genetic code, which I think is great. So, before I break the set, anything else you want to tell me?
Because of all the we gesture.
I was too hype. I was too hype on Black Panther news.
Hey, you can never be too hype on Black Panther. You can never be.
It's safe now.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to do a little shout out to Nerd Appropriate Podcast, because I did do a podcast with them with Ash when I was in Orlando, and watch out for that podcast soon. But we talked Black Panther. He wanted to know everything that I felt like with Black Panther, and he said that I actually got him very enthused in that. Good. And for anybody else out there, if I've gotten you enthused about that, yay, let me know. I love knowing that because it's a passion for me, and I love that it has opened a passionate door for you. And it's soon. February is not far now. Oh my God, it's so close, but it's not close enough. So soon, Black Panther. In the meantime, Captain Marvel news. We have not had much casting news in the way of Captain Marvel since the big slate in the beginning was announced, since Comic-Con had a lot of stuff said. So now they're ramping up. They're going into production soon. I don't even know how that moved. Jude Law is in talks for the male lead. Now, Jude Law is a very interesting choice because Jude Law has a definite regal authority. He's got a superheroic look. He's got all that to him. But I would never have thought him for, and I'm assuming, Marvel. I would love him for Captain Marvel, if not only because then it would kind of promise us that they would go into the whole Kree thing with Captain Marvel, but also a man can be statuesque, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. I consider him statuesque. He's from Gattaca, right? Jude Law. He's in just about everything. Yeah, he's been running like he's. Sometimes I confuse him with Ewan McGregor. Oh, I can see that. But he also completes the this half of Sherlock and Watson, which is nice. Oh, there you go. Now we have all of the Sherlock players. All of them. I think Jude Law's a great choice. I think he's certainly a worthy actor. I think he has like a poise and regalness that's important for Marvel. And he's playing a mentor type role, is how they described it in the breakdown, which would make sense for Marvel. Hasn't been confirmed, but I mean, that's what we think it is. That's what seems like the natural progression. And I also like that you have a strong character actor that can play Marvel, where even if he only has a few minutes of screen time, it's not gonna be lacking. Like, that's an important character to the history of Captain Marvel. So I don't want Jude Law to be in half the movie, but I want when he's there to be like, oh, this is where Captain Marvel comes from because of how important the Kree ancestry is and how all of these things are. And I mean, this is a movie that is a female-led action movie, and having Marvel in this position is going to be really fun with Jude Law. So I can't wait to see. And Kevin Feige actually came out and said that he wished Captain Marvel came out before Wonder Woman because he thinks that a lot of the things they did they're doing right. But DC beat him to the punch, and Wonder Woman was near perfect. So hey, it was pretty darn good. It's my favorite of DC. That No Man's Land scene is like one of my favorites. So I'm curious how Captain Marvel's going to keep up. Like, I mean, obviously everybody's looking to this to be the first of the Marvel pantheon. We should have had a Black Widow movie by now, but we haven't. So I'm curious about where Jude Law sits in and how that plays. And yeah, what do you think about casting? I think that, well, it says something about the caliber of Marvel, scripts that are out there, that they're attracting their hard-hitting talent. Yeah. I mean, we've got Jeff Goldblum and Sylvester Stallone. Now we've got Jude Law. We've got Brie Larson. Everyone. I mean, it's all. I kind of wonder what they're gonna do makeup-wise with him. Are they gonna go full Kree? Well, he was a pink Kree in the comics. Remember, that was one of the things. Okay. They like rationalized that they retconned his origin. They were like, yeah, but a pink Kree, and I'm like, and then there was all the different hues of Krees, and then there was that. Yeah. So Marvel was always human looking, but he wasn't. But he's Kree DNA. So I'd rather him be blue. I'd rather it be a natural Kree. I'd rather let's go full Kree. Yeah, like if you're gonna lean into that side of the story, go with it. So Blue Jude Law. I want people to have Ronin flashbacks as soon as they see him, and they'll be like, "Whoa, is he a bad guy? Because blue means bad guy." Or and if we can cry over, if we can cry over Yondu in Guardians, then we can certainly appreciate Blue Law. Blue trademark. You did not. And completely tangenting over to the Fox universe, James Franco has confirmed he is working on an X-Men spinoff. We still have not had full confirmation that Multiple Man is happening. That is all the rumors, all the things. I was so excited last week when this rumor popped up. It's all but confirmed. He's talking about it. Like, it's happening. He said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he's indeed working on a project within the X-Men universe, saying, quote, "I do have a superhero movie that I'm developing. I don't know how much I can say, but I will say I'm producing and performing in it, or will at least perform in it. It's in the early stages. I think probably what I can say is, like anything, there needs to develop more. So I'm working with Simon Kinberg on an X-Men property. It's in the X-Men universe." So, well, I'm just saying, if they're going to start doing X-Men spin-offs, Storm. Storm. I don't know how that hasn't happened. Storm. There's so much there that they can work with. I mean, they can take it like through the progression of life if they wanted to, or they could just have Kid Storm, right? Because or just Queen Storm, or just Leader of X-Men. There's so many you could do a trilogy easily. Or like, was it not brain destroyed, but it was when she was brainwashed. They got brainwashed Storm. I mean, you can go just about anywhere with it. Although I would want them to go Kid Storm.
I'd love to start
I would
there.
say that.
I think with the history of her like claustrophobia and like her being worshipped as a god, like there's just so much to play with.
Yeah, and they could even downplay the powers until it comes to like she hits puberty and she can't control them, and
you can
maybe she runs into Black Panther with the younger, because that's that's canon.
Movie 2.
That's canon.
They run into each other. They get married. It's magical. So, I mean, I want the X-Men universe to expand because I know that Fox really has that going right for them with their solo movies, with how well Logan and Deadpool did. I'd love a Storm. I think James Franco's Multiple Man is very inspired. I think that he's an actor that can play opposite himself, and that'll be a lot of fun to see. It sounds like it's happening. Now that James Franco's talking about it while he's promoting the magic of the disaster artist, I think that we're going to be in a good spot. And speaking of X-Men, and not in a good spot,
stop.
Dark Phoenix. Apparently there's a grim death in Dark Phoenix. Is that a surprise?
It's a Dark Phoenix movie. Who stays alive
after Dark
Let's
Phoenix?
say
What happens?
that.
Is that a happy tale? The hashtag story.
It's something I'm going to tell my future children.
It's just
Actually, for
bedtime story.
realsies,
Oh,
probably.
yeah. I can't wait to tell my kids about like sitting and reading comics. My kids are gonna be the best.
Okay, it's going to be great. I'm going to read them Infinity War, and I'll just be like, just so you know, everyone dies.
Mark Ruffalo then the whole way. So the hashtag show reports that a major death is confirmed. According to them, Simon Kinberg's Dark Phoenix movie will show Jean unable to control her power, and she's going to impale and kill one of the original mutants from the group of X-Men film characters.
But not Storm.
I just don't know if we will care. We've had 2 generations of X-Men movies.
It's going to be,
but like,
it's got to be him.
it just doesn't matter.
It's got to be him.
I feel like we just met these X-Men. I feel like we don't really like. I wasn't invested in them in Apocalypse. Every time there was stakes, I was like,
Well, no, we didn't really. I mean, if they want to do anything, they need to give us our Mallrats movie.
Yeah,
do that starring Jubilee. Let's just have that.
I'm glad they're going dark, but they shot it in 3 weeks, and I don't know that we'll care enough. But I'm at least glad they know that the Dark Phoenix story is a dark one. And speaking of X-Men, Gambit is set to begin production next year. Omega Underground has been following it very closely, and with their latest update, they report the X-Men spinoff will be shooting early next year between February and July. Both Fox and director Gore Verbinski are reported to be looking at those dates to a Valentine's Day 2019 release date, a la Deadpool, which Fox learned can be a very profitable day. And I think Gore Verbinski, we've talked about before, is a great choice to make Gambit if they take their time.
Pirates of the Caribbean. It was the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
It was super good. It got you hooked on to the rest of the franchise. Who would have thunk it? People like to go to the movies on Valentine's Day weekend.
What a crazy concept.
I mean,
it's like some sort of date
never
location.
done that before.
It's weird
Dinner
that
and a
February
movie.
isn't a bigger release month until recently. Like February is like where you just like let movies go to die historically.
And when you think about it, by then people have started to rebuild their money from after the holidays.
Right?
They might have like a little extra income when to see something like a big Marvel
Yeah.
blockbuster or something.
I think that February is a great time to release a blockbuster because you don't have the summer crowds, you don't have the conflicts, so I'm excited that's when it's coming out. I'm excited they're starting to film because you guys on Twitter have been amazing. Every time I talk about how I'm like the guy that's excited for the Gambit, like there's just occasional bursts of like us too, and then it like quiets down again. So Gambit followers, yeah, good people. Daredevil Season 3 has cast Wilson Bethel in a pivotal role. Wilson Bethel will be an FBI agent who will play a critical role in the conflict between Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. He is said to be 28 to 35, 5'9 to 6'1, open ethnicity, an athletic but socially awkward FBI agent who needs structure and rules to suppress the darkness inside himself. Athletic to medium build, responsible and resourceful, and this is the interesting one, hair trigger temper.
It's Sin Eater.
That's Sin Eater, yeah, that's
It
what I was
has
gonna
to
say.
be.
When the last line I was like hair trigger temper.
No,
and,
what got me was the darkness that he has to suppress inside.
Definitely Sin Eater.
That's got to be Sin Eater.
Which I think is a fun
Right.
character for the Netflix universe, like the down and gritty Netflix world.
Yeah, and that could fit in with the Born Again storyline.
Oh yeah, totally. Lines up
because
well.
just everything's up in the air. You've got Karen. Well, we don't know what
don't know
they're
how
going to
they're
do.
gonna do that, yeah.
We don't know how they're going to do that.
And everyone's blaming-
She's just going to wind up in Mexico, addicted to drugs.
I mean, after like the Punisher, we saw how Karen can really play with that role. Like we saw the actress like really like as soon as you see Deborah Ann Wall, you don't have to have any like catch up.
I enjoyed her character more than I ever had, but I was never a Karen fan.
Really?
Yeah, it just wasn't really striking with me.
Did you like them two together? They're in Punisher specifically.
No, I like her I like her better alone. I think she's stronger alone. I didn't like her leaning so much on Foggy and then leaning so much on Matt, and then it seemed like she was standing on her own 2 feet, and then that seemed good. So, I'm just not the biggest Karen fan out there.
All right. So with her involved in the Daredevil mythos and with this Sneider character, I'm wondering if that's how we get Bullseye, if that's how we lose Karen. I mean, Daredevil 3 is probably our last season, especially with the Disney madness. So I'm wondering if they make it like a big finale and we lose Karen Page. Because Daredevil is a character that loses everyone he loves. Like, that's just part of Daredevil's
it's
story.
like, what superhero doesn't go through that?
That's true.
And you don't want to be a superhero's mom.
No,
or
no,
uncle,
no.
or aunt.
Unless it's to bring people together because you're named Martha. Now, the thing with...
and there we go.
The thing with this Sneider character is, to me, this is a Spider-Man big bad. I've always liked him in that world because it really sets off the dark costume. It sets off that whole thing. But Sneider is a hyper volatile, insane character that if you're playing with Kingpin and you're playing with Daredevil, we need someone to make Daredevil look bad. So I'm really excited if that's the villain. I also hope that we have Bullseye this season. Intrigued.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would kind of wash the Colin Farrell
that movie.
Bullseye, kind of wipe that slate clean.
Because Bullseye is such a great character in the comics.
He can be really good.
If written and acted well, there's a lot of hope there.
Yeah, and I'd be okay with, since we have so many, it feels like bigger names that are being attracted to the universe, I'd love for them to go smaller names.
I'd love to see a character actor just dive in and the full...
Just really knock it out.
He's got to be crazy. Like, that character's got to be nuts. And you have to believe that he can kill someone with a paperclip. Like, you have to actually be invested there.
God, who's the guy with 3 names that plays Rorschach? Sounds like a serial killer.
Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, a type like that.
Yeah, that flavor of human being. So, in speaking of Daredevil, I would love to hear your Punisher thoughts since you weren't here last week.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think?
How spoilery are we?
We'll go full spoilers this week. It's been out for 2 weeks. Last week we did
so
spoiler light.
People have had a chance to.
Light, we're gonna go full spoilers here. So if you saw last week, we didn't go spoilers.
Like
Punisher, full spoilers.
We'll do a wavy thing for when you come back, if you're gonna mute us. Okay. I did not expect to binge it. I really didn't. I was like, okay, I'm going to pace this out, maybe see, the first 2 episodes. And then I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I watched the next 2.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I've been here for 4 hours.
I guess this is my life now.
Just like, this is what I'm doing. And I actually had it all watched by,
I was shocked.
By the show.
Because we talked right before you left. You're like, I'll watch it before we get back. And you were like, when we called in, you were done?
It's like, I couldn't stop. I really liked, I'm going to mispronounce her name, Mandani. Yeah, Agent Mandani. I liked her little arc. I liked the interplay between her and the actor Ben Barr's Billy Russo.
Yeah.
Billy Russo. I thought that was, I enjoyed that, because it gave a vulnerability to both of their characters that you don't really get, outside of that. I mean, even with Sam, they got more involved like later on as it went on, but like with her and Billy Russo, that was like right away. It was just like, wow, okay. And I always like it when a good character has interactions with a bad character,
especially the way they played that with you as the audience learning how bad he was as she was falling for him more. Like, you were seeing how evil he was as she was falling. So like the scene with the bathtub had such an impact because you were like,
oh, he's like, he's the one that killed
is blood
Sam
because of him.
He killed Sam, and now he's washing Sam's blood off of you.
And we've learned how evil he is at that point, because like people that know comics know Billy Russo. We know that name. We know he ends up being Jigsaw. But there were times I was like, is he even going to be Jigsaw in season 1? I thought maybe it'd be a season 2 thing because of how good he was.
Did they actually say his name was Billy Russo until like in the middle? I know he was Billy, but did they actually say Russo?
Or at least till I noticed, because I was like, wait a second.
I was like, oh, okay. To me, he wasn't it. He was just gonna, a Jigsaw character was just gonna pop up somewhere else.
But how great is that for Ben Barnes? Like, how a credit to Ben Barnes.
Nice.
Like, because I thought it'd be season 2, and then when it happened, I still felt bad.
Yeah, I didn't want him to turn. I was like, you can still make a good choice. Oh no, wait, you helped. Yeah, no. You helped. You told them where his family would be.
You kidnapped some kids. Wow, those are bleeding out on the Ferris wheel.
You cut some random kids and tied them to a carousel.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to leave because you had the chance to leave, Frank let you go.
And that flashback scene of them at the carousel, of him like with the family, like how demented Billy Russo had to be like, let's go to that place that'll mess you up because I need to win. Like that level of like depraved.
How about right before that, when Frank finally gets his own against an Agent Orange, so to speak. And that was just so brutal, so R-rated.
And that was a thanks from his friend. Like, effectively, Billy was like, I know you want this more than I do. Like, that's a weird, like, give, you know?
Yeah, and you know that Billy was going to kill him right after that. You know that he was.
Yeah, it was such a good show.
Oh, wow. It had levels to it. It wasn't just, run and gun. It wasn't just, murder. I mean, yeah, there was murder.
There was murder, but it was
balanced murder. That's hashtag balanced murder?
I said it was John Wick meets This Is Us. Like, it was the action of that.
I haven't seen This Is Us.
It's so emotional and so family oriented and so, like, building of all these interplay of characters. And that, to me, was Punisher. Like, you cared about everyone. You cared about Micro's family. You cared about, like, every arc had a strong...
I didn't like Micro.
No.
I didn't like Micro. And I liked that they made him, to me, an unlikable character, but I also understood where he was coming from with it.
As soon as he had that hoagie in the car, I loved him. As soon as that car scene happened, I was like, oh, this man and his sandwich are my favorite people.
No, the thing of it is that I didn't want to like all of the characters. I already liked the bad guy. I liked Mandani. I liked Sam Stein. I liked Mandani's mentor. There was a whole lot of people to like. I enjoyed having this other main character, Micro, be unlikable, where he was a guy that was trying to do the right thing and he didn't know how to do it. He did everything wrong, and he's kind of an a-hole a bit.
So that's interesting to me, because that shows like how well the characters were written, because I loved Micro, but you and I have similar taste in things, but we can both like and dislike a character that was played a specific way. Like, that's a beautiful arc if one person can be like, I liked not liking him, and I was like, but I liked loving him. So that's a really good show if you have people, it's like Friends, like everyone has their favorite two friends.
Yeah, I don't like Ross.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, I love Chandler and Joey. Some people like, you know what I mean? So I
loved Phoebe.
Yeah, so everybody's got like that thing, and Punisher was so where you have that person you identify or don't identify with.
Yeah.
And like the action I thought was beautiful. The scene of my favorite cinematography in maybe any Netflix series besides The Hallway Daredevil, that's a bar, was the chest cam footage plus the drone footage plus the regular footage in the woods.
Right, when they were going after, I forget his name.
The friend, when they were, but that was so cool.
Cabin Man.
Yeah.
When they're going after Cabin Man. Oh, wow. Yeah, and he was like, you never leave a man behind. I'll be back for you. I'll be back for you.
I'll bury you.
And nope.
Yeah. So to me, that show, like, it did a lot. I think it's my favorite Netflix show because it did all the things my favorite ones like Jessica Jones and Daredevil did right, but without some of the pacing issues, without some of the mid-season stalling.
Exactly. It was 13 episodes, but it was brilliantly paced out.
Right.
It needed those 13.
And as much as you love Luke Cage, we both agreed there was that moment where we lost Cottonmouth, where it was like, but wait, we should have kept him.
Great, you lost Cottonmouth. You have Mariah all set to be your kingpin-like character of this. You even have shades, and then
yeah, and that's the thing the show didn't do. It learned from...
like, what is this Diamondback stuff?
And you learned from Iron Fist not to do the political intrigue, business stuff too heavy. It didn't lean too heavy anywhere. It didn't... And, we had a great lead. So I give Punisher full marks. The fact that you watched it before we called last week's show, I was like, Markeia loved it too.
I was so surprised. I was just like, I kept on going right through it. And like, I need to know... It built on suspense really well, and it ended it really well. And
the last line was so painful. When they were sitting in the circle and he said he was afraid because he doesn't have a war to fight, like that's the Punisher. Like, that's a good Punisher comic. Like, when they write Punisher well, that's how it is. So when he's like, I don't have a war to fight and I'm scared, it's like, oh.
When you think about it, because he already had fought his war before, and then 6 months later, he's still lost.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. So now he's back to his resolution, where he had to lose, one of his best friends.
Yeah.
And now where does he go from
and
there?
That's my favorite thing about the tone they chose. Is it was a year 2 story. It wasn't an origin. It wasn't even a year 1. It was like, Punisher's done with his job.
Yeah,
we have an opening montage.
We saw that
with that hilarious Mexico shot, that shot when it's like Mexico and then it zooms and it says USA. I was like, what a funny joke! Like, what a great way to tell. Brilliant.
Yeah, because you're right. We saw year 1 during Daredevil. We saw, with Wilson Fisk. We saw the prison scene. We saw the graveyard scene.
We never backtracked. And, like, we had flashbacks, but we never backtracked. And that was trusting the audience because of you guys. Like, people like us and you that are so invested that they feel like they can trust 13 hours to not be backtracking. You don't have to do origins anymore because audiences aren't dumb.
We finally progressed to the point where we don't have to have Spider-Man get bitten by a radioactive spider.
And Uncle Ben dies?
Uncle Ben dies.
Like,
yeah.
We get it, guys.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Homecoming, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Punisher, and I think Logan were this year's like, look, we can do this.
Which is why we should have a Storm spin-off movie just to bring that back around, because not a lot of people know her origins.
Right,
and it is
really
extremely interesting.
And whether
steeped in culture. And it's
whether movies do well. They make them. They keep making those damn things. Why not make an awesome one?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Are you talking
like Day After Tomorrow and
apocalyptic
Geostorm?
movies?
Yeah,
Oh.
we have all these Storm movies. Why not use that tech?
Except it's wrapped up into this little girl that's just trying to make it work.
I'm with you. You've sold me. I'm there. So Punisher.
Okay,
Markeia
Punisher.
liked it. I liked it.
Spoiler off.
So yeah, it was a great series. I'm really proud of them. I loved it. And in great series, Infinity War. Now, Infinity War is the culmination, and the more we hear about it, the more it sounds like, I mean, they've been using the word finale. They've been using the word, like, end of. We've been hearing a lot. So we are gearing up for the end of the MCU as we know it. Not the end of the MCU, but as we know it. And first we have a poster. Now, this poster was revealed in a hilarious way. Have you seen the footage?
No.
So it's on Instagram. So Tom Holland gets a package delivered. And Tom Holland being
Tom
ever
Holland
so cute.
can't keep a secret.
Exactly. So it says from Mark Ruffalo, the other guy that can't keep a secret. So Tom Holland pulls this out. He's like, guys, look at the poster. And then he pulls out a note, and it very, like, obviously and humorously says confidential on the back, Marvel Studios. And he's reading a note from Mark Ruffalo, then he, like, pretends to be like, oh, no. And it was a great way for Marvel to be like, we know Tom Holland's known for not keeping a secret. I thought it was the most adorable reveal. Like, Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland to be like,
You're like, oh, yeah, we did this.
It was really cute. It was adorable. So that's how they revealed the poster, was through a joke about lack of credibility of honesty and silence.
Yeah.
So the poster is fairly standard. It's going to be like your first Avengers poster, but with different colors. It's got Infinity War written in the inside.
It's very purple.
It's very purple.
Yes.
Much like a certain Titan.
What?
Much like Iron Manos.
Iron Manos. It's predominantly purple, but you know, has the other Infinity Stone colors definitely. And I love that it's like the Avengers, and then right there in the you know, that actually has a name. The part of the A that crosses over.
Did not know that.
It actually has a name, and I've forgotten it, but it says Infinity War on the part that connects the.
It's a teaser, as any teaser. It shows us nothing, but it's great.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the teaser. So many fans. I saw every tweet, guys. They were like, "Can you delay the show?" I can't.
We can't delay the show. We have the studio.
We have like a producer. We've got things on Wednesdays in our lives. They just couldn't. But it was very sweet. We would love to. I know I'll be freaking out tomorrow. Tweet us. We'll and then next week we'll obviously talk about it. But feel free to reach out, because there's no way to.
Yes, tweet us. Oh God. Oh,
it's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be something else, because it's like, you know. Because Thor Ragnarok has been out for a while now. So does he have it back?
Right?
Does he? Or is it,
no way.
You know, because Odin never got his back.
No, there's no way he gets it back. That'd be such
that's just...
Every anti-Marvel person would be like, oh, look at the stakes. Like, you know what I mean? Because everybody always says that Marvel doesn't have any stakes because nobody gets hurt. War Machine's been crippled. Thor lost an eye. Things are happening. So
They killed Yondu.
They killed Yondu.
They killed
There's
Yondu.
stakes.
Just when he finally,
loved him.
became all of the fatherness of Yondu.
The brilliance of the Mary Poppins line, and then was taken away.
He may be your father, but he's not your daddy.
Oh, God, that movie's good. I don't care what he says.
Yondu died in his arms.
Beautiful. In space. Which is why we're from space today.
That's why we're from space.
So there have been some leaked scenes, which I have not watched. I will not watch. We will not show.
I have not.
I respect the sanctity of Marvel, and I think that if it's not meant for us, it's not meant for us. But we have some descriptions of the scenes. You know what? I will briefly say what the descriptions are, but if you don't want to hear them, consider the spoilers.
Okay, should we do a wavy thing?
Yeah, just in case.
Okay, possible.
Light spoilers for the teaser tomorrow.
For the teaser tomorrow. Yeah.
Which is why the only reason I'm telling you. Most of the clips were, I'm not going to give the guy credit. Someone posted them. I have his name. He doesn't deserve it. He's ripping off Marvel. These clips show Proxima Midnight battling Cap, Black Widow, and Falcon. They show Falcon assaulting Proxima Midnight up close, and Cap managing to catch her deadly spear. There There's footage of Scarlet Witch blowing up a truck. Another clip showing her estranged possible romantic interest, the Vision, as the two look lovingly at each other. Another longer clip shows the Guardians sneaking into the lair of the Collector, where they find Thanos is already there, physically interrogating the Collector in order to ascertain the location of the Reality Stone. And the Collector insists that he sold the stone without realizing what it was. And then a final scene where Drax is determined to fulfill his destiny as the Destroyer and finally kill Thanos, and Star-Lord and Gamora are trying to talk him down. So I'm sure this is like 25, 30 seconds worth of footage that will be in the trailer, so I didn't feel bad. Like, these are all trailer feeling moments.
Okay. Do a wavy thing again. Wavy thing.
You're safe.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I
totally tuned out.
Good.
Just so that you know.
Perfect. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Tomorrow she'll be ready without having known anything.
I heard a couple of things
Just
and
words.
and then I'm like, well, let me see what questions the chat room has.
How's the live chat doing?
Actually, some fun questions here.
Good. Mark them or remember them, and we'll have time at the end. I left some space.
Awesome.
Frick yeah. Oop. Marvel movie news. So it's funny that I didn't do that in a point of anger, only in a point of jest. So Avengers 4 casting spoilers. The untitled sequel to Avengers Infinity War looks like it could be taking a major cue from the comics, according to a recent casting call. The notice states the production codename Mary Lou is looking for two-year-old twins for 2 days filming in December. What do you think?
I don't know.
My theory?
I have no clue. There were so many characters. I mean,
I had a really strong thought.
Have. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Because then I was going into Fantastic Four, and then I'm like, wait, no, those
are Fox twins.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, twins in the Marvel universe involving these characters. Vision, Wanda, babies.
Oh, that's a real possibility.
We've seen them snogging. We've seen them loving at each other.
Yeah,
I think they have kids.
That's a time.
Yep.
Like that's a time.
Like some sort of stone that controls time.
I don't think it would be that kind of. Maybe reality stone.
Any of it. Maybe. Reality stone could give him some human parts to make babies.
Well, I think that he
PG show kids.
I think because of what he's like comprised of,
right.
I think he wouldn't have any trouble making babies.
We need Alan.
I think
this is we need Alan Kistler. Alan can Vision make babies in his current state. But so my theory is that I think those two kids are maybe the children of Scarlet Witch and Vision. That's my theory.
I'd like for them to be some sort of flashback twins, but I'm trying to think if we have any twins.
Wanda and her brother.
Maybe is it specifically those two characters?
No. My theory is just those two characters. Literally, all we know is two twin boys.
Okay, because I'm maybe no. If it was twin girls, because I was thinking that we could have a Thanos, Gamora, and Nebula thing.
Right.
But maybe if it's twin boys, we could have it be maybe part of the Black Order. Like maybe it's Coal, Obsidian, and one of them. No, Supergiant's female, right? No.
And it was a boy and a girl, it'd be quick. I would think Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch with the time
Yeah.
stone. Also, it's a movie, and many times they cast twins, they can use the young boy in multiple shots. Like, kids can only be on set for like 17 minutes at a time. So if they're young, they might have to have twins, they can film more. So it could literally just be a young child, and we're reading way too much into it. But it's fun.
It could be one, and then they want twin boys so they can, because of child labor laws.
That's what I'm, so we could be reading too much into it, but I get excited. Kevin Feige has said, as I mentioned before, that this is a finale. He was talking to Vanity Fair, and good God, the Vanity Fair photos, the big spread of Vanity Fair that's all like 22 movies worth of characters. It's gorgeous.
It's panorific.
And it's so pretty. Like, it's just the white, the stark, and then just characters, so you're focused on the people. Speaking of Vanity Fair, Feige said that Avengers 4 will, quote, bring things you've never seen in a superhero film, a finale. There'll be two distinct periods, everything before Avengers 4 and everything after. And this is where it's interesting. I know it will not be in ways people are expecting.
Because everybody dies.
But that's what people are expecting.
Everybody dies.
People
and then we
die.
get Secret Wars. We get Battle World.
Battle World, Secret Wars, Young Avengers. There's so many ways this could go. So many weird ways this could go.
He shows up.
Him saying it's not in ways people are expecting makes me think everyone not only dies, but more. Because everybody thinks everybody's going to die.
They were going to have dimensions. We're going to get some of the other Earths involved in there. It's not going to be 616 anymore. It's like if we just cleared this table.
But I think there'll be a few left. I think there's going to be a couple characters like holdovers.
Well, Captain Marvel.
I mean, obviously, she has to be. She's got a movie. But her movie's
and Misty Knight, because I say so.
And Misty Knight, because she says so. But it's interesting to me that we have a hidden teasing that is not in ways we expect, because I pretty much think that's the way it's going to go. So if that's a bait and switch, yes. And now this is the craziest quote. Now, these Vanity Fair covers are, to me, just so pretty. We've got Vision, Cap, Hawkeye, War Machine, and yes, the Wasp, finally an official Avenger in one of the Vanity Fair covers. I'm so excited for Wasp. She's a founding Avenger. She should have been there. Another one with
Past been there.
Right? Like another one with Mark Ruffalo with green Hulk hands. What a great like little button. Scarlet Witch looking very different. Like she looks the most different of anyone between movies. Ant-Man and Black Panther.
She looks kind of grief-stricken. Is that just
She does.
me?
She does.
She looks matured, weathered. You know, like she's been through the ish.
More of a witch.
Yeah.
She looks more.
So,
Quicksilver.
Ooh, yeah, but no. Just thinking real quick because we're completely. I can't believe I didn't think about this, or maybe I did, and I didn't think about it before.
She incepted herself.
Yeah, I totally did. So we have Scarlet Witch. Could she like House of M us?
I was talking before about no more human. I mean, she says mutants.
No more Thanos.
She says mutants instead of no more mutants, and that's how I'd bring X-Men in. That's my thing. I'd love to have her literally mention the word mutant at the end of Avengers 4, and then bring in the Fox universe.
Or even just like more power,
right?
Or something like that.
I'd love to House
like,
of M us because she's crazy.
Yeah, well, because she lost Quicksilver, she's gonna lose Vision, you know, and then she's just gonna be this raw thing of emotion. I mean, I kind of like the fact that her and Hulk are, you know, right there in the middle with that.
You know what I just realized in this moment, completely out of nowhere? John Cena wasn't in Thor.
Yeah, right.
I just thought of that.
I couldn't. If somebody saw that, if they saw like his cameo somewhere,
yeah, that's really funny. I don't know why I was just like,
I still
Scarlet Witch,
expected
John Cena.
Yeah,
Maybe
or he could have
really
just
insane.
been. He could have been one of the gladiators. He walks by Korg.
Yeah,
you know, where it's like he walks by Korg. He's like, "Hey, man, hey, man."
But the problem is we didn't see him.
Yeah, we didn't. Oh, you get out! You get out of here!
Haven't got out in a while. Zeno Hour said. Zeno Hour said Scarlet Witch says no more Fox rights, which is very funny. The biggest quote to me of all of them was Kevin Feige said there are 20 more movies. He said the studio was 22 movies in, and we've got another 20 movies on the docket that are completely different from anything we've done before, intentionally. Great Googa Mooga. If we're only halfway, like, whoa. It's like, planning-wise. Because you remember when they dropped the Phase 3 plan, and I was like, I don't want to know that much. Like, they announced too much.
I'm okay with them not announcing.
I don't want them to announce anything ever again.
Because I kind of want there to be a little bit of, you know, fan influence in there. I mean, when you think about it, it was fan influence for us to get the Punisher.
Yep.
I feel like it was fan influence for us to get that particular type of Spider-Man.
Yeah, life happened to get a Spider-Man.
Exactly. And then we got a trilogy of that coming along. You know, I think fan influence is going to be what drives Black Panther.
Agreed.
Definitely got to have a trilogy of that,
yeah, that's happening.
So, yeah. I've already said it like twice. Storm movie.
Yeah.
For instance.
I mean, Fox,
rogue movie.
get it. Yeah.
You know, but you know, a real rogue movie. Not like that first,
that thing that happened.
Yeah, that was, we're just cleanse that palette.
They cast Lizzie Kaplan in Gambit. I'm hoping she's Rogue. It's probably not going to happen, but can you imagine Lizzie Kaplan? She's so strong and commanding and smart. Like, I'd love that Rogue.
I'd like the Gambit movie to be without Rogue.
I would too, but since they cast her, I was
that's
like,
just too early.
It's way too early.
I want him to have his
own
thing.
And I'd love for her to be introduced in the middle of a second movie or in another movie and then like the meet in the middle of his second movie. Like I want there to be build up.
Something like that.
But I was very interested in 20 frickin' movies because that's, I mean, we haven't even gotten to movie 20 yet. Like 22 are done production, but like 20 movies. So, I mean, that leaves Doctor Strange 2 and 3.
Yeah, probably have Brother Voodoo in there in the second one.
I'm hoping for
they already
Kamala
introduced
Khan.
it like his brother. What?
I'd love Miss Marvel. I'd love Kamala Khan. Her
that
book's
would be great.
If you're not reading Miss Marvel, it's a fantastic book.
Ironheart
would be fun.
That is a possibility.
Because we're going to lose Downey.
Oh,
he's up there.
Yeah. And then just think with New Mutants does well. They'll probably have.
But I don't know if Feige's talking about Fox. I think he's just talking about Marvel.
Well, you know, there's you know, like just to quote like Dark Tower, where it's like there's other worlds in these. There's other Feige's in these.
Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't have to do it all. I mean, Moon Knight.
Yeah,
that would be a great one, especially since we just had Punisher happen, and then Moon Knight could be like Punisher-esque.
Right.
Kind of
I'd
thing,
love
like
Moon
with
Knight.
that.
Obviously, like that's one I've wanted on Netflix
be
from
like
the beginning.
Punisher meets the new Judge Dredd meets The Raid. That would be a good Moon
I'd
Knight.
love Moon Knight to feel more like Sense8, and it to be a different character that he wakes up as, and you live through that character, and only after episode 3 and 4 do you realize it's one character. Imagine like a little boy doing a heroic deed and being like really proud, but it's very small, and then like a woman having to like save someone out of like a burning car, and then like the 4th movie like a stereotypical heroic deed, and then at the end you realize that's all one man in his head thinking he's embodying these people. That's how I'd write it.
Okay, I'd like it as a series then.
Yeah,
instead
oh,
of, like,
definitely a
particular
series.
movies.
Yeah, I'm saying like a 13 episode Netflix, and then have it be you don't realize till halfway through he's one dude. Like, brr.
I would like for there to be crime drama in there because you kind of need that with Moon Knight.
Well, and with the Netflix world, I think that's vital.
Well, it won't be Netflix by that point.
Let's hope they keep the tone. So that is 20 movies, craziness, and all the pictures. We'll definitely be tweeting out the pictures. We have another one right here with oddly Pepper Potts. I'm not sure why she's on the cover. Spider-Man, Star-Lord, and Doc Strange. What intrigues me about these gatherings is I don't know if these are just like convenient photo ops, if these are indicative of different little mini teams, if these are things that'll matter for story. It could be either way. I just think
who was available that day.
yeah, who was on set and available to get pictures. And also costumes are different. Like Captain America's not in his nomad suit. He doesn't have a beard. He's literally just looking like Cap. So that's interesting. Obviously, they don't have the spoiler for Thor, so we've got two-eyed Hemsworth here. We've got...
Thor Odinson sees with both eyes.
But that said, we do have Black Widow in her blonde wig, so...
And we do.
I don't know. It's a mix of timelines. It's a mix of stuff, but Time Stone means anything's possible. The Vanity Fair are very interesting pictures. Like, if you really analyze them, there's a lot there. I think that we will have different timelines, different people. I'm hoping people meet different ones from each timeline. I hope
it like splices in,
crazy.
and then you have like this, you know, Black Widow, and then our Black Widow gets sucked
she's a
into
Skrull.
somewhere else.
telling you.
Or maybe that.
And I think the most important picture, we do have the Women of Marvel picture, which is, I love this spread. Yeah, that will,
Huge.
yeah. This
Huge
picture,
spread.
not only is this picture incredible, this picture shows the caliber of actresses that are in these Marvel movies, and like that's so much like girl power in like every sense. Like, I love these actresses. I want to see an A-Force movie. Like, to me, this picture was A-Force, and it was taken by Craig Kyle, who wrote X-23. The writer, the inventor of X-23 took this photo, and there's just so much legend here. Like the modern Wolverine legend taking this photo of these incredible women, and Captain Marvel, we haven't gotten to see a lot of her. And next to Black Widow, like, to me, this is just so cool because this spans 10 years of movie making.
How short is Scarlett Johansson?
Oh, she's tiny. She's bending her knees, but she's also like 5'2", 5'3". She's not tall.
Oh,
And
okay.
Karen's super tall.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. She's like got the superhero height going
Yeah.
on.
But I love them all together. Like, I think that's just, it's 10 years of different movies. It's all different chronologies. It's Guardians
I
meets...
like Palm in there. She's over there. Oh, gosh, I enjoyed her as Mantis. I hope she doesn't die quick.
She was great. And I can't wait to see more Wasp. So yeah, I love that photo. I love that Craig Kyle posted. He took it for his daughter. This should have been one of the covers on Vanity Fair, in my very humble opinion. I also think that this shows where A-Force could be, and the fact that like studios should be ready for it. Now, the spread of photos.
Oh, you saw Angela Bassett in there.
Can we start? Yeah, we'll start in this one. We'll go right. Is that cool, Aunt Anthony? So we have Nick Fury back, which is not being talked about nearly enough. We haven't seen Nick Fury in a while.
Because he's a Skrull.
He's very possibly a Skrull. We have my boy Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the back, weirdly still with the wires in frame. We have, this is the Captain America suit that it's interesting because this is the Winter Soldier suit. So it's not blacked out. He doesn't have a beard. I don't know what's going on there. What can you tell us about her?
Oh, I'm sorry?
What can you tell us about her in general? Like, is this costume different than the one she's had? Is this...
Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about Captain America,
sorry,
and then you said, "What can you
right
tell
away.
me about her?" And I'm like, "Wait,
Christina Evans." The Dora Milaje. I forget the actress's name. That's right in the center.
okay, sorry. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
My eyes are just like they're out of sync here. I believe this is okay. This is Ayo. I think that's the actress is playing Ayo, and her name is.
It slipped me. That's why I was like,
it's escaping me right now, but it's a beautiful name. But yeah, if that is Ayo, then a lot of people before were like, oh, so it should be Ayo and Denai Guanera's character. Oh, there might be a thing there. I'm like, don't you dare, because Ayo already has her OTP, and that's in a whole other like Dora Milaje Midnight Angels type of a thing. But I do hope that they keep her sexuality,
right?
not everybody's just cisgender kind of a thing. But
real quick, sorry. So the character's name is Okoye.
Oh,
is that Okoye?
Yeah.
And it's Denai Guerra.
Wow,
Yeah.
I cannot see.
I wanted to get the...
Okay, well then Okoye,
Thank you,
she's head of the Dora Milaje for Black Panther. She's incredibly powerful, really great. She's a really great character. I like that they have Denai. I'm gonna keep on Denai Guerra. Mm-hmm. I like that they have her for their, I like that they have all of their cast for it, but I like with that because if you watch Walking Dead and like with Michonne and how you see the progression of Michonne that happens when you first see Michonne and she's delivering the baby food on the outside of for the prison, and she's hurt, she's vulnerable, but she's still, she can take someone down. She doesn't trust anybody. There's a certain part of Okoye's life where she's like that, Okoye. Where she's like that, and then she changes. So, like with the Dora Milaje, she becomes part of a family.
Got it.
Like she's from her own.
She finds
from
softness.
her own town.
She's hard. She finds
but she still has that steel spine that you see with Michonne.
Yeah.
Where she has that softness towards her family.
Perfect.
And how she's just this with everybody else.
And I love that her costume fits in this Avengers spread, but looks so unique at the same time. Like this looks like a superhero suit, but also looks like the culture and the heritage. And like to me,
it looks like a uniform as much as Captain America is a uniform.
Like it looks like it fits with this spread. Like there's a picture of Spider-Man next to like this this Nick Fury and this Captain America all blend in one photo. I love that. And then can we get to the next one?
But real quick, let me answer this question. AR Watkins. What do you think the Stanley scene will be in Black Panther? The cameo.
Yeah.
Okay. How about he's like TSA and he has to and they're trying to go through an airport with something or get to the private jet or something, and he's like nope, you're gonna have to walk through the metal detector again. And then they have the vibranium suit on, and it shouldn't set off a metal detector, but still maybe BP holds his breath as he's going through. I don't know, but I kind of like, because he hasn't been a TSA agent or anything.
I like it. I want him to thwart Thanos. I want him to do something that mildly inconveniences Thanos.
That's huge. That's not a cameo. That's huge.
And to be perfect, he always has those little moments that are important. I want a Thanos moment with Stanley. I also just realized it is approaching 3 o'clock, and we can tweet these photos out, and it would make more sense than trying to go through them, especially with how small they are. Now, these photos aren't for, they're for Vanity Fair. They're not for Infinity War. They feature costumes of Infinity War. I got disjointed with mentioning Captain America's costume. This is the 10-year anniversary photos. These are photos all from the 10-year. So they could be from any time period. My apologies. That's why he doesn't have a beard, etc. So
and there's Angela Bassett
and my boy Hawkeye. So we'll tweet out these photos, but I want to make sure we have time for the Merry Marvellites before we go. You said there were some good questions in the live chat before.
Well, that was one of them. I'm sorry, there's been a lot of activity since then, and we don't have a... let's just do some shout-outs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Debs Cap Evans at Marvel Padawan, Aaron Wilkerson at Aaron Wilk, who gave me my Black Panther Funko Pop, Andrew Melissa Keen at Nevada Kings Fans, Ryan at RM Flash 36, Charles Lee at Goofy Fan _Chuck, Jada Runaways.
Yeah.
We didn't talk Runaways. No, at Holland's Flash, Stacey Strange at Irma Kova Stasja, Adriana M at Chaotic86, JJ Lang at JJ Lang Tweeted, Christina Farrow at Kinetic Fox, Axa at Axa Maxima, Might Guy 2421 at Might Guy 2421, Brian Young at The Turtle Dork, Jada at Merit _Jada. So we should talk about Runaways.
I wanted to get the Merry Marvellites shout out done, and we're gonna literally talk Runaways until we have to close out. I just wanted to make sure we give love to you guys. Runaways, nice. I love it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I am 2 episodes in.
We had a lot of Punisher to watch. I get it.
I had a lot of Punisher to watch, I guess, and I just life happens.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. I'm at the point where it's like something was found in a place that it shouldn't have been. So then it's like, ooh, the jig is up, kind of a thing.
But we'll see episode 3 if that jig is fully up.
Yes, exactly. I enjoy the way that they are going about this. it makes me want to do a reread of the comics because I believe that this Amy character is made for the TV show. Okay. I do not believe that there was a missing sister or anything like that in the actual comic books. It was simply that these kids are growing apart, but every year at the same time, they have to come together with their parents coming together. And then they're just used to this. This is kind of like a chore kind of a thing for them until they find the secret door. While with this, I really enjoyed this television aspect. It really was, because then, yes, of course, Nico, goes totally goth while she's trying to find her own identity.
Boredom is never as interesting as pain. Now they're coming together because of pain, not because of boredom. If you put them together because, we got to see each other every year, that's inherently a less exciting story. Adding the element of pain and suffering is brilliant. And I love that they have all of the characters cast so well that when we have the pilot, you instantly are endeared to all of them. I was really impressed with the casting. My favorite character is, I think, the dad that finds what we were just talking about, the mysterious item.
Jeremy Wilder.
Is that the actor's name?
Oh, well, I don't know the actor's name.
The character's name?
Sorry,
Jeremy Wilder? Thank you. I didn't know his last name.
Yeah.
Jeremy Wilder, I think, is my favorite character in the show.
Correct me, chat room, if it isn't Jeremy, but I believe it's Jeremy Wilder.
The scene of him showing his authority back in his old hood, and then his authority with his new rich friends, and then the scene of him and his wife. I just feel like he's got so many layers that you wouldn't really have time to dive into in a comic necessarily. They're doing a really good job expanding from the Runaways book and allowing more layers. And I love the one episode kids, one episode parent thing. Yeah,
when they did the rewind where it's let's take it just a couple of seconds after.
Love that.
For this. I really enjoy the Yorks. I believe it's Stacy and Dale. I think they're so hippy dippy and they're so fun loving, and you don't want them to be villains, but they are. So you're like, well, maybe they got dragged into this villain thing, and not saying anything with the comic books, but the comic books are a really good read to know what's going on, and they've already strayed away from the comic books at a certain point. For instance, Gert and Molly. Yeah, Molly's parents died in a fire, and now she's been adopted, and now she's a York, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And I love the every family feels different. Some feel more dysfunctional than others for different reasons, and they all feel real.
It brings up the question, though, what if the Yorks somehow killed the Hernandezes? And then, maybe with the time traveling. So maybe that's why they felt the need to, take Molly on. Who knows?
I think that they feel responsible. I'm curious if they are responsible. You know what I mean? I feel like they have a guilt, but I'm wondering how literal it is. Yeah.
No, and that's going to be heartbreaking. I love it.
The full mustache twirling evil of Buffy's own
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Is it Marsden or Marsden?
I think it's Marsden.
I'll just call him Spike.
Spike is great in the show. He's so evil, and he's the only one that's full evil.
Yeah, and he's evil, but he's also kind of inept, and not inept in a intellectual way, but in he can't ask for help. It's an S.
It's T-E-R-S. Thank you. As James Marsters.
Marsters. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, but he's just that socially awkwardness that comes with megalomania genius.
Yeah.
And I love that they didn't have Chase be a dumb jock, and that we actually got a sketch of the fisticuns.
Yeah. And the little teases at Lace are fantastic. I'm really excited for
They have a dinosaur in their basement.
I'm not revealing anything from 3 on because you're where you are. 4 is out. It drops in the morning, so we can actually watch it before our show, which is exciting. I turned on my Hulu and it was ready.
Right, I think it's 15, which I think that's what it's called. I think I'm not certain.
Yeah, you're correct. Sorry, I glanced over it earlier today when I was on Hulu.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's called 15.
It's called 15, which would take them back 2 years. So then we'll probably see Amy and see what they were like when Amy was alive. And then what in the world happened to Amy? Because the thing that I'm thinking, if you think with the comic books, the whole thing with the Gabborim, there's only 6 tickets to heaven, 6 tickets to paradise. But they had 7 kids.
Right.
What if somebody took it into their own hands to take out an extra child,
which also allows for the TV show to have more fun with that different thing they added in. There's so much more.
So much.
And Runaways, the acting's great. I love the music. The music's really strong. The tone they're setting, I love that it feels like Los Angeles. A lot of times people film in LA just one establishing shot, and then they film the rest in Atlanta and they call it LA.
I love the camera angles.
Yeah.
It brings you into their world, and it's not just I'm looking at something on my TV screen. It's no, I'm actually, she's fingering her, her amulet. She's, there's the key that she threw into the fire and it's burning.
You feel for the kids. It's much more classic long form storytelling, and I love that all the kids have different identities and you empathize with all of them for different reasons.
That house party scene. Oh,
God, that was rough, and that was instant. Like that was we'd only known that character for what 10 minutes, and I was already like, what the like it was so much anger and like it just good television. So I really am enjoying it. We're only a couple episodes in. We're gonna watch episode 4 before next week, and hopefully 5 as well if we have time. We will dive in week to week on that. I'm sorry we didn't have time for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or
The Gifted,
but there's just so much content, guys. We have to prioritize movies, and then the shows are secondary. There's a Gifted AfterBuzz show that's great. Stephen Lemieux runs it, and there's also an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. AfterBuzz show. I promise you, we will dive in as much as we can to those things. We're not ignoring them. We're not ignoring you.
Also, real quick, there is a Runaways after show as well. That's actually lead host is Oliver Drennan.
Fantastic.
Oh, there you go. So
okay,
Ollie
good.
leads that one.
So our literally AfterBuzz shows for all those things as well. We have to divide our time where we can. I miss having the time to do those things. This was a big news week, but I wanted to make sure we had some time to talk Runaways. And next week we'll set aside time as well. In the meantime, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and please let's talk about some of these shows together.
We're available there.
Please do. Message me. Well, not message because my DMs aren't open, but tweet me.
Smart.
At Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty. And then you can also catch me on Skybound Comic Roundtable, where we discuss the weekly releases of comics that are coming out for Skybound and Image. And of course here on Tuesdays at 2 p.m., which is when we started. And then if you enjoy wrestling, I do WWE Raw Mondays, and that is at 9 p.m., where we cover everything Raw and everything wrestling, and it gets kind of wacky. And if you want to see last night's, we actually had our classic Raw crew of myself, Johnny LaQuasto, and Ty Matthews. So, yeah, it's a good time. I hope to see you there.
And you can find me at COYJANDREAU here on Instagram. I do Insta reviews, and I pop up in Screen Junkies and Collider and I'm everywhere. I want to talk The Gifted. I'm enjoying it. I think it's one of the better adaptations of Marvel, X-Men especially. I definitely will make time next week because we're behind on Gifted, so I see the live chat. I'm sorry. And in the meantime, we will see you next week, and there'll be a teaser. There's a trailer. There's a friggin' Infinity War trailer next week. I'm so excited. So tweet us tomorrow. I know we'll both want to talk about it during the week.
Yes.
Tweet us.
Yes.
Love you guys. See you next week. Thanks.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, not necessarily